It's time for headlines now, and I'm sure you're ready to delve into it with us. We'll start with Ghanaian Times, which says clamp down on substandard appliances. About 23,000 refrigerating appliances have been seized. Also, Bost workers hail Bibiani Petroleum Depot project. Then SC throws out suit against Otiko Jaba, and there's an insert of the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection there. Also, the court refuses to discharge alleged Mahama murderers. And then finally, Tilapia jailed 24 years for robbing Court of Appeal judge. Interesting stories there. But of course, it's not our tilapia that we certainly know. So whoever has borrowed the name, please.
Not at all.
But why would you steal from? I mean, sometimes if I was a thief, your target should be certainly not a Court of Appeal judge, because Charlie, when they catch you, you are going in for even the 24 years. I'm sure is small.
That's just like
forever.
Jumping into a fire when you know you'll be burnt. But the 23,000 refrigerating appliances seized, a good thing to have seized them. But my worry is if this is the solution to trying to cut down on these second-hand appliances that consume a lot of energy and cost us so much. Why not stop its importation? There's a law. I remember a law, maybe one of the airlines, 1923 or one of them, was supposed to have stopped these equipment or these appliances from coming in. I don't know what happened, but if they are still coming in between these years, we have seized this number. That means that perhaps something is wrong somewhere. So I would have suggested, look, why don't you stop its importation before even thinking about seizing them whilst they are here? Some of them, I'm sure, were smuggled in. But it also doesn't mean that we cannot stop it. Once we make sure our borders are quite good, then we can stop it. I remember the issue of the second-hand clothes, that for several years we've heard the Standards Authority say we have banned importation of second-hand clothes, and yet we find them on the market. The last time we questioned this, we were told that it will take time for those that are already in to be sold. I think it's gone past 2, 3, 4 years. I don't know what is happening. So let's start from somewhere. Perhaps stop it from coming in. Whether legal or illegal, then we can be free from these appliances. Right,
I so agree, because this problem has been there for years. I mean, we applaud the Energy Commission for doing this over 4 years, seizing 23,000. But like you said, the source of the problem is the importation. And so if they clamp down at the ports, actually I would be looking forward to punishing those who even import it. And so in addition to seizing it, you let them pay for actually even bringing whatever it is in. Because if it gets onto the market and there are people who are poor, who cannot afford the brand new ones, they certainly think the second-hand ones are better, and so they'll go in for it once it's come onto the market. And once it's come onto the market, you, the Energy Commission, sort of have allowed it to happen, and so you are to be blamed, not the end user who's going to buy it. But of course, the education is also important, where many people think second-hand goods are actually probably better than the brand new ones. The problem is it actually consumes more energy.
Is it really the case?
It's not, but people actually do think it's better.
Believe that.
Yes, because once someone has tried it and it's still sustainable for you to even bring it into the country, then it means it works well. That's how come the person had it for this long. That's people's mentality.
So it's not a matter of affordability. That's why we go for a second hand, but people think that it's better.
It's both. It's both. The cost and then the thought. So the education has to also go, because if you look at the numbers being quoted here, where they actually say it's saved about 400 gigawatts hours of energy, the power, which is about 1/3 of what we produces. So that's how much we're saving when you're not using these substandard refrigerating appliances, and that has helped, or they say has helped, the doomsday situation. So certainly moving forward, they should clamp down on its import totally. But anyway, maybe we'll move on to Daily Statement also says Jospon supports 10 university students at Jamestown, but the Speaker of Parliament says, I haven't declared support for Jerusalem as capital of Israel. And so also, affirmative action bill is to be passed by 2018. That's coming from the president. And then the vice president says Ghana to have bauxite refinery in the next 3 years. But the Speaker of Parliament's issue also became a big one, because apparently he granted an interview to a TV station, and he says he never declared support for Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. But an MP put it out there on Facebook or on social media saying that the speaker had spoken on behalf, or he thought, or they, postulated that the speaker having made that comment was on behalf of government, and so he was, sidelining, or let's say putting Ghana in an entrenched position which didn't favor us. But if he says that's not what he said, I guess then it is what it is. But really, we wouldn't want to be delving into these issues, because Israel and Palestine, I mean, they have their own issues. That have their, so we are not interested whatever happens there. What we need is, do we benefit, do we lose, the economic gains and all that, and the peace, if I may say, of these continents, because it will affect us. But whether we take, certainly I don't think anybody will want to take an entrenched position for, on this. So
Donald Trump's decision to see Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and so we're told that the U.S. is moving its mission. There is causing a lot of ripples across the world. I think Ghana's position is against it. So if a speaker might have said on a platform that he supports that idea, then that is what might have caused that kind of commentary, because then the speaker would have been against Ghana's position. Ghana, I guess, are still not siding with Donald Trump's decision to move to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, trying to manage the crisis there. So I'm glad the speaker is out to say that. I didn't say that. Then, of course, we know that Ghana's position remains the way it is, that we're against the idea. So it's good he's come out to say it. I think we'll just leave it at that once he said that he didn't say that, unless, of course, we can prove that indeed he said what we're saying, what he's saying he didn't say.
But I, for one, would hope that we don't drag this issue. Really, there are a lot of things that are pertain to us that we haven't dealt with.
All right.
So for me, this should die or should fade out. But of course, affirmative action bill also, we hear is to be passed in 2018. I mean, it has to come to pass. We're talking about it for too long. I think in 2018, if we don't see anything, then this is where I, for one, would feel that then the president has failed us. Because oftentimes, I mean, for years, we keep pushing affirmative action bill for one reason or another. We say it has to pass through a particular process, and then we push it. Another year, another story crops up, and we keep pushing. But we all agree that it's something that has to come to be passed, because it will help everybody. Gender empowerment, it will facilitate everything that we have to do concerning pushing women out there. And
some of these laws that are supposed to enhance people's lives, sometimes it amazes me why the politician is not eager to push them through. Now, in the same vein as they push some of the very crucial laws they want passed through Parliament, I don't know why some of these ones, the affirmative action bill, the right to information bill, and all these bills are sitting there, and for years all we do is to talk about it. If the statesman is reporting today that indeed 2018 the bill will be passed, hallelujah. Let us see 2018 and let us see the bill passed. Other than that, we also maintain that the politician is really not interested in the welfare of the people, because these bills are supposed to come and enhance people's lives. Now, if all we do is to talk about it and not get it passed, then I guess we're doing something wrong. Anyway,
let's take the last one from Daily Heritage. It says, CJ wild at MPs over abuse of the title honorable. Also, Pram has not installed a paramount chief. And then finally, Reverend Amankwa, he's saying, deal with criminals in ministry. Well, there are a lot of criminals in ministry, so if we are dealing with them, I'm sure like 90% of all those criminals will go.
I'm wondering how you're going to deal with them, or maybe be able to recognize that these are the criminals.
That's the interesting part, because the people who have to deal with them are the members of the church. Once you know your pastor is duping you, is leading you astray, is lying, is taking money from you.
How do you know?
And how do you know?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, if you're a Christian, you really understand the principles of the Bible. Your spirit should tell you that this is wrong. This doesn't conform. How many times did Jesus take money? Jesus didn't even take money from anyone. He performed miracles for free. But here we are asking people to send mobile money before consultation. I'm wondering, are you a doctor? Like, what kind of thing are you doing? Is it for your personal gain? Is it for God? We lose the import.
But that is the man he or she believes in. And so the man says, send some money for prayers. And he or she will do that.
That's what I'm saying. Is because they don't even, the people who are supposed to be the ones identifying them as the criminals have scales on their eyes. So until they fall off, we'll have an issue with dealing with them. But the title honorable, right? I, for one, always grew up knowing that these titles were, I mean, either you use it on the floor of Parliament or it was just a title that comes after your name, because really your name is who you are, and then the title is only something that comes because of a role you play. And so from you even know that I won't say the doctor before my name. I mean, that's a different jurisdiction, but certainly it's because Ghanaians or Africans seem to think that a title wields all the power there is. But really, I think the power is in your name and who you are, who you identify yourself to be. And so I really was amused that Chief Justice Mrs. Sophia Kufu reminded the MPs that your name comes, then the title comes, because even the people we copy from, which is the British, that is how it is done. And so parading yourself, like if you don't mention the honorable title, then you are not respecting me, was an issue.
Okay.
But really, let's move away from that. Do your work. It's the work that brings the honor.
I'm wondering why the Chief Justice was wild, because I mean, this has been done over and over and over again. I don't know if this is the first time it's gone to the court.
Maybe.
Maybe. The word honorable before the name of a person, but it's been done. I am wondering if it is only these two MPs, because most of the times when you hear, even in Parliament, the Chief Justice's worry is not about the use of the title. No.
How it is.
Yes, let's clear it. It's not about the use of the title. Her worry is that the word comes after your name. So, Bright Nanamfo, Honorable Member of Parliament for
whatever
Sukuma Odobin Bracko constituency in a few years to come. Okay, so that's it. But my point is that in Parliament, you find official documents saying, I mean, using the title before the name. So that's where my worry is. If indeed this is the correction, and we take Supreme Court's comments, statements, or rulings as sacrosanct, I am sure that with this by the Chief Justice, a lot of corrections will have to be made in our public service.
Exactly.
From Parliament to even to the court of the executive. A lot of the names that the honorable come before the names. And so this is a real revelation, and I guess Parliament and other state institutions will take a look at it and amend their records properly. I mean, you go to Parliament, you hear Honorable Kwame Ansa, Member of Parliament for this, and that's what the CJ said.
So we got something wrong, and so she's corrected us, and hopefully we'll all learn from that. But it's time to rant, and we're talking about ministers and their performance. You know, around this time, you're wondering, as Christmas is just around the corner, you're certainly wondering what your minister, the minister designates for a particular portfolio, has done for Ghana. Are you impressed? There certainly has been a lot of talk about the Minister of Sanitation, because most Ghanaians seem to think we still wallow in filth. And President, if you remember, had said that he was going to make Ghana the cleanest country, no, Accra, the cleanest city in Ghana. And even in Accra, we don't see that. So how much more the other districts, other parts of the world, of Ghana? And certainly, our ministers up to the task. Who's the worst performing minister this year?
This is kind of a rating for the ministers?
Yes. Oh, we are ranting and asking, are you satisfied with the ministers' performance? Remember, Bright, we've also increased the number of ministers. So we need to assess and see if their work yes, they're doing their work as it demands. Anyway, George Queenan runs with people out there on the streets to see their views of who the worst performing minister may be. This is what it feels like.
If you go on social media, you find musician A+ ranting about the sanitation and water resources minister. And for him, the minister is not living up to expectation. And there's something here that reads, "Dear sanitation minister, isn't your honeymoon over? Enough of the silence. We need action. Filth is swallowing us." And so, aside the sanitation and water resources minister, Kofi Ada, who would make it to your list of worst performing ministers in Ghana? Welcome to Daily Rant.
If you look at other places that take their sanitation issues seriously, you see that their health is on the rise. They have improvement in their health and other stuff. But for us, you look around and it's filth everywhere. Today is malaria, tomorrow you have
and
this.
What are you doing about it yourself?
Okay.
The minister out. What are you doing yourself?
For me per se, I don't go around and then litter. If I drink water, maybe a sachet water or a bottled water, I hold it until I find something that's been around and then I dispose it.
I think the Minister of Road and Housing. Yeah.
Why
Road and Highway.
He has not given you.
No. Because if I drive my car, I drive in the town. You see, when the road is bushy, sometimes you cannot see properly. You understand? And then there are some irons, the one they put in the middle of the road. When you get to around Tetekwashi, you can see that they can scratch your car and it will cause accident for you. Me, because of my driving and the way I see things like that, I feel like it is endangering our life. So the Minister of Roads and Highways, for me, he's the worst minister for me.
Okay. Yeah. I like the sanitation minister.
Oh, to me, I can see the Katrina Feku.
Tourism.
Yes, tourism.
Do you know she's inaugurated like 50 ambassadors for tourism?
Yes, exactly. But what are they doing about the tourism? What are they doing?
Wait.
Oh my God, Alagana, we are in here. We are in here.
Who is the West Minister? For me, one West Minister. Our minister on your name.
If you are many room, na your minister, all Shesu, Amayansi Sangura, no fee a many and the Ghana, modern Ghana, a movie. Minister or cry. Oh, and all body pan, no fabeletano, a me and the play, Wemu, Casacasa, if you need many, ya bread. Any fee.
Who's the West Minister?
All right, Kofi Adam, definitely he didn't try. When you came to Kanda Highway when the school children are, you see that there is too much dust. You see, so they have to come around and get people to come and.
But at least you can help if the minister doesn't come. You can help.
No,
because it's close to you.
No, I can't help.
You can help.
So now definitely when I help, when I see something, when I go do something,
because you're also government.
I'm government. I'm government. I'm part of government. But there is something. If you go and put yourself, you have a problem. So maybe last time I was standing there, I saw some guy. He holding rubbish planting. Then he come and put inside the. I have to say something. But I think maybe when I beat or when you go, I have a problem. So he have to.
You see, for me, the sanitation minister, you see, he just had a little problem because he was not with us right now.
It's a new portfolio.
Yes, exactly. As we are sitting here,
but he's having two deputies.
Two deputies.
Yes. Again, you know, have we? What is our sub-metros? And then, you see, we have our sub-metros.
Okay.
What are they doing?
Okay. If you go on social media, for instance, you know A+ supported the MPP.
Yes. Exactly.
And now he's ranting on social media.
Yeah.
He says if you go on, if you drive on the motorway, you see filth all over, motorway. And he's so angry about the minister, the sanitation minister.
Yeah.
He's so peeved. And what is he doing? We are paying him with taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
I know governance is a process. It's not an event. Governance is a process, not an event. And so let's wait for the timeline. 4 years. If you can judge them after 4 years, we should not really.
Should we really wait for 4 years?
No, we should not wait. If we wait for 4 years, it will keep on going like that.
How many people? How many people would? How many people would die? How many lives are we going to lose?
Within that time,
within 4 years.
Within 4 years, how many people are going to, just as my brother said, how many people are going to
lose their life?
How many people are going to lose their life? So we should start it now.
I think reshuffling is very, very important in this situation because aside from the sanitation minister,
who do you think is the worst? Who make it to the list?
Off the top of my head, I can say like 5 ministers.
Who are they? Let me know.
Zongo minister.
Zongo minister is coming to build high-rise buildings for you.
When? You see, our problem as a Zongo community is not skyscrapers. We don't need skyscrapers to develop. We have a lot of challenges
challenges that they need they need to be solved before
this our community. The houses are not for one person. It belongs to family. Some of them they share it for them, and somebody say I don't like.
The landlord will get a portion of it. If they build, the landlord will get a share. That one there.
Oh yes, but what I'm saying is that
I think to me, if only the project is there, I support him to do it. Because if you build a rise building, high-rise building, just as in Europe and America, the buildings are.
So be nice.
Yes, we have a lot of. And Nima again.
Okay.
No. When is he going to happen? When is he going to happen? No, tell me. When?
If he builds the high-rise building, he's going to build it for us to live in.
Yeah.
Can we afford it?
Maybe it will be cheap.
Maybe. No, you are not giving me certainty. Maybe. We have pressing issues.
I'm not
a
sure.
skyscraper will not change the view of Nima.
If it happens, then it's the best.
It will change the view of Nima.
I'm not sure.
How many lives will it change?
The view will change. I don't know about the light. The view will change.
We are dying from poor sanitation, like you said. We are dying from it. Unemployment. I mean, the security here is very low. You can imagine we are in the East Ayawaso constituency. The parliament house is part of our constituency. The president's house is part of our constituency. What is the security here?
Check embassies.
The security here is very low.
You yourself, TV3, you are here. You are within our premises.
You see? So we have more pressing issues. Yes, because you are closer to the Flagstaff house, so you are okay.
So now first, you born a chance about a young finish now. Yes, away. Some chance in a way. Carnival would finish one now young finish now to go to war simple. They say, and then and a few minutes. Minister no shape mammy for your problem because if you make us all free office one on Chrome number Chromutia on your office not now no Piembra no num Chromusa no Piembra no num Chromusa no just the Chromutia a few many
just as my brother is talking about the Zongo minister. Look, that ministry is just a political gimmick ministry. Yes, it's a minister with that portfolio. You see, the Zongo minister is just like a statue.
But the minister
Look,
is
I'm
like
telling you for a fact. The minister is just covering up his party. You see, all of us know that it's not working. The minister is just there. It's just a name that is Zongo minister. They wanted to fool our mind and take our votes. That is all. The minister is not functioning. It's not something that's no. I'm telling you for a fact. So that man, I pity that man is a nice man. That man is supposed to be something like
I want to see him.
Abubakar Siddiq.
You want to see him?
Yes, Abubakar Siddiq supposed to be like Minister for Work and Housing or Minister of Sports.
That's attached.
You understand?
You know what he's doing.
Just for political gimmick, they just give the man something like the man's going to suffering. You see that people are blaming him.
It's good in visiting, like if they are going to do this our aure, he's very good in that. I'll not lie to you, but I met him about 4 places. Even you said, come again. No. We want development. It's part of us. So we don't even need him. He should do the work. The promise that he promised the people, the Zongo people, that is what we want to see.
It's like people want to get money from me. Do you want
physical money from you? Don't want physical money.
How many Zongo are we having? So how can he give me alone money? Or give only one Zongo money? But what they say they were going to do, they should do it. We want to see them doing something. Up to now, have you seen anything for Zongo? For the Zongo people, have you seen any development? Okay, I don't know. This is Nima. So now, let's say the Zongo minister, what have he even done for us? They should come out and show us one thing that they have initiated for.
So let's.
A year, how many years?
And then evaluation minister. Yeah. What is the minister doing? Monitoring and evaluation. I mean, I can't think for my boss.
You can
You've been appointed to evaluate and monitor your other ministers. And up to now, 10 months down the line, almost a year, you've not come out to say, this minister is not doing this, or that minister is not doing this.
But that can be done maybe after the, let's say, the year, 3 years or something.
No.
Okay, let's say when the year ends.
So keep on paying you with a our money for 3 years. And then wait after 3 years before you come and
He
tell us.
record them for 1 year before he brings the report out.
Like every year.
See, the president has not waited for 4 years before he's telling us he has done this or that or that. I like what the president is doing. He has ideas, but he should be wary of the people he's keeping behind him, the people around him.
They should be
supposed to me, it should be
sanitation minister.
Not sanitation minister. Otuko Ejaba. Yes, Otuko Ejaba.
Why?
She should live there because the people are complaining from the north that money. Yes. The LIP. Thank you. The LIP money. She's not been distributed on fairly notes. That's what we heard on the ground. And even last time the news came out, and she talked too much. She talked too much. And last time she attacked our former president, which is totally uncalled for. But we rest our case over.
This is what it feels like.
The concern is that one, the former governor was made to leave. That's why we're still paying him. Now, if a deal is reached with Dr. Siama and he leaves, we'll continue to pay him until his 4-year employment ends. That is one. The other one is that the investor out there will feel that kind of unsustainability in policies. Are these worrying enough?
Very worrying. Good morning to your cherished listeners and the good people of Zabzugu for giving me this privilege to represent them in Parliament. I'm even surprised at the answers provided by my good friend Richard. I think at the swearing-in ceremony of the president, he said he was going to keep his hands on the purse of Ghana or lock it up. But what are we seeing? As you just stated, the governor of Ghana, Dr. Nashiri Sahako, was forced out under duress. He had to sign his resignation letter under duress.
Okay, so he resigned, but you're alleging that he signed it under duress.
It's not an allege. If nobody will resign from a company, and it will come with remunerations. It's a contract. And that is why our development partners ensure or make sure that any of these companies which are state-owned, you have to sign a contract. So your contract has deliverables unless you are not delivering.
But even if he signs a contract, he can decide to opt out.
But if you are opting out of a contract, if it was an investment company, then they will pay you some shares. But this is not. This is a government state-owned corporation. That the president said he was going to, to hold the Ghana purse and secure and protect it from abuse, from depleting, depleting the scarce resources that he claimed he came to meet. And today, what are we seeing? Anyway, there was this psychologist called Murphy. And Murphy law says that anything that will go wrong or can go wrong, you should prepare for it. And so I think that it is high time for Ghanaians, reasonable and conscious Ghanaians, to wake up, remove the partisan lenses. Today, our country is being disseminated. There's now planting divisiveness everywhere. And we need to wake up. When these people were in opposition, what didn't we see? Where is Ghana going to? Why? Is Dr. Siama not a Ghanaian? He went to school, he came to serve his country, and all of a sudden, because he's not owning a party card, you're forcing me out.
What about What about issues of ideology as to which direction you want to take the
you have to understand
country?
These are civil servants. A civil servant do not have an ideology. If this was, what is it called, National Planning Commission, sure, you could say that, yeah, we hired him purposely to drive this kind of ideology, particular agenda for this particular government. But it is not. Bank of Ghana is Bank of Ghana. They are economists. Setting monetary policies to ensure that the CD or the currency is in perfect shape. Of course, if I'm an investor and I see that the country keep, just after 9 months in office, people who are supposed to maintain the regulatory environment, people who are supposed, or offices or institutions that are supposed to be level-headed, that we believe in, and all of a sudden you pluck them and put your people in. Why will I come to invest? Very soon you'll see multinationals, the World Bank and others, people that will go to sign loans, people that we, nations that see us building certain capacity or secure, coming towards this economic
I think you are being unfair to the issues.
Why am I being unfair?
I'll bring you. No, I'll bring you in.
Honorable,
please note
more ingredients.
Not whatever you want to say now. I'm bringing you in a few seconds.
In this country, okay,
Richard, please, Honor, please wind up for me.
Well, the bottom line is, Dr. Asiama is a Ghanaian, and he's paying his dues. He's leading the country. He's providing the knowledge that he learned, that the government of Ghana spent taxpayers' money educating him. Just like today, the president says free SHS. You spend all this money on people, and all of a sudden one day you say, no, we don't see you to have a party card. Get out of office and we'll put in somebody. No, it's the same thing as the philosophy. You stated it.
Okay. Honorable Ma'am, I'm grateful. Before I go to Dr. Ajinapo, Richard, you wanted to come in quickly.
I think I wanted Honorable to be fair with the issues. On 29th of March 2016, Dr. Kofi Wampa, the then governor of Bank of Ghana, resigned under the NDC and under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama as the President of the Republic. Honorable then and his team and the NDC had no issues with that. He never said that he was pushed, and so, so what he's saying meant that Mr. Mr. What's the name?
Dr. Wampa?
No, the one who succeeded Dr. Wampa.
Dr. Isahaku.
Isahaku was an NDC person, so he was brought for that purpose. Is that what you're saying? Is that the kind of theory you are propounding this morning?
No.
Well, the point is that I'm saying that Dr. Wampa equally signed contract. He never expired. He resigned. But the moment now you are making us understand that when people resign, we ought not to take it. What we ought to do is that we should improve criminal motive and say that guns were put on the people, the person's head to resign. I mean, that's grossly unfair.
Richard, why is it? Let me ask Honorable Omar. Let me handle the issue
all the time.
You see, when the truth catches up, when the truth catches up with NDC, they talk about equalization.
Richard, please
stop equalization.
If Dr. Asiama is made to go, and we pay him the rest of his contract, 2 years, we will be doing the right thing.
But what I'm saying is it true?
No, I'm only asking it.
Let's
assume it is not true, but let's do a hypothetical.
From what I understand, this an interview conducted by
Richard, because I don't have a lot of time.
If we can, an individual who is even one of the communicating members of NDC,
great.
A lawyer.
Assuming Dr. Asiama is made to go, and we have to pay him the rest of his contract, would that be prudent?
I don't understand. I don't know the full details of the person's Dr. Asiama's contract. And I don't know what would what prudence would be.
Okay, he signed a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
If we make him leave, we have to
that
pay him.
If he resigns, I don't think he will be entitled to all the things that we are talking about. Maybe there will be some package.
Resigns, not.
If he resigns, maybe there will be a package, but it will not amount to
pay
all
everything.
Do you understand? So, and obviously, over the period, we've known that, for instance, when Dr. Wampa resigned under the NDC, we knew that the man has resigned. It could be anything. Sometimes people will not be comfortable in their workplace again.
So we are not paying Dr. Wampa as of now. We're not paying him.
For me, I don't believe that he's being paid. I don't even believe that Dr. is being paid.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it unless I get a contrary evidence. Not
the
just
Daily Graphic
said
that he's being paid. So.
No, they are reporting what the lawyer of this particular Dr. Johnson Esiama is talking about. They are reporting that. And I'm saying that if Honorable is talking about the fact that somebody is pushing Dr. Esiama because there are rumors about it, not even that he has really resigned. We are hearing of stories about he wanting to resign, there's a move for him to resign and all those things. And you want us to take that and say that he's being pushed. You sat here categorically.
Okay, Richard, I'm grateful. Let me go to Dr. Jenapo. I'll come back to you.
This is so unfair.
Yeah. Dr. Jenapo, I think the concerns are one, protecting the public purse. Now, we're told that if he leaves or we make him go, we're going to pay 2 second deputy governors. And then, in fact, we're paying 2 governors now. That's what the paper is saying. And then again, economists are worried about what it means to those out there that at the change of every government, we see people at the central bank moving, and so that sustainability of policies won't be there. It won't give them the courage to come in and drop their investments in here.
Well, let me say good morning to your cherished viewers and to the honorable members. And I see behind us we have a Christmas tree, so we are in a Christmas mood. So let me let me take this opportunity to wish the good people of Ghana Merry Christmas and upcoming New Year. I think this story is an interesting story, and it's a story that should be of interest to Ghanaians, especially with those in the public sector, with those who do not want to be the Richard Santi Aboa and Honorable Umar, because they have identified themselves as politicians. So you are with us or you are against us. So if it so happens that Richard is chief executive officer of a certain company and a new government comes and is removed, I don't have a problem with that. I've always said, and I'll repeat it, that if you happen to occupy a position through a political vehicle, when that political party is out of power, you shouldn't cry wolf if you are removed. But I think it's very interesting in the sense that, look, this is not the first time that we've had a governor or a deputy governor of a Bank of Ghana be removed. If you quite remember when Kufuor came, was it Paul Akwa or somebody of that sort? I've forgotten the name. The person was asked to more or less moved out in a gentleman manner. Right, it will interest you to know that why some of us are worried is because when you come to my job as a lecturer, I don't have a guaranteed tenure of office. I don't retire at 60. As a lecturer, we have something they call what? Tenure. Your contract is renewed periodically. So you start as an assistant lecturer, you are given a certain period. Of course, you are supposed to do certain things, publications, teaching, and all those kind of things. Then after that, you are given another set of years, and it's renewed. So the worry is that if you are not careful, and one of the most, one of the liberal places that you can find yourself as a Ghanaian to be able to speak your mind is the university community. If you're a lecturer, you can speak your mind, especially if you are not even interested in any political party. But when it gets to a time that your tenureship is being tied to your political affiliation, it becomes problematic. Let's come back to this substantive issue. First of all, the integrity of the story is being questioned, in the sense that it's a story by Daily Graphic. Look, in this country, we have news outlets. Daily Graphic is a credible paper. And I can vouch for the story that has been put out there. That, look, they said that before the end of the year, this man is going to step aside.
Yeah, that's the
and I'm tempted to believe it, Because if you look at the dynamics of what is going on, already he's what? He's on leave for 10 days. Beyond that, we had Dr. Isaku, who also proceeded on leave or resigned in a similar fashion. The worry with me is that, I don't know, I think as a country we have to take a stance when it comes to public sector workers. If you remember, I mean, Charlotte Osei is in court facing all kinds of charges and those kind of things. This man, Dr. Esiama, if you look at his track record, he came to the Bank of Ghana in 1996. 1996. He rose through the ranks to get to the position of what? A deputy governor. In fact, the story says that the man is extremely competent. I'm not even going to look at the costs to the state. Let's look at the caliber of person that we are looking at. Beyond reasonable, that he's a competent person. He has a MPhil in economics from Legon. He has a PhD in economics from Southam University in the UK. Yeah. And he's worked with the Bank of Ghana for 20 years. So if somebody has worked with an organization for this number of years,
institutional memory,
and that person is being pushed aside or is being forced aside, or that person even voluntarily decides to move out, then there's a problem. There's a huge problem. Beyond that, I think some of us too, who happen to be in the public sector, we also have to be extremely mindful of
our affiliations?
Our affiliations and the positions we hold.
Is it wrong?
No, listen, right. That is what I said. If you are working in a position like Bank of Ghana, and you understand and appreciate the politics of this country, you don't have to be what? Politically affiliated. I'm not saying this man is politically affiliated. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's politically affiliated. But we also have to be careful in the sense that I've had instances where I know people, educationists, people in authority, who wear political party t-shirts and attend political rallies. If I, Dr. Jinapo, sitting here, I say, look, I'm a member of Ghana Freedom Party. Fine. But you cannot eat your cake and what? And have it. And moving forward, I believe that, look, this particular story is a true story. I think it's a true story.
We might see him go very soon.
He's going to
That's
go.
what you're saying.
There's no doubt about it.
Richard is questioning because it's not coming from Daily Guide.
No, that's fine. I'm not going to go there. I'm only right. Let me.
But the man has denied he
has. The man has denied, but there is a negotiated settlement that was alluded to by his his lawyer.
Yeah, he's been gagged.
That was alluded to by his lawyer. I mean, we are supposed to look at the cost and all those kind of things. But I think, if you remember, it was right after January 7th or January 9th when His Excellency the President took over power. There was all this brouhaha about people being asked to proceed on leave, people being asked to hand over. I mean, all kinds of things. We are getting to 1 year down the line. 1 year in the president's presidency. I will not sit here to evaluate him to say whether he's done well or not. I mean, when the opportunity comes, we'll look at it. But I think we should have moved beyond the stage of what? People being asked to step aside and people being removed and people even voluntarily what? More or less resigning. I think by next year, January 9th, the president would have more or less exited his honeymoon period. Where we are looking at serious business. Can you imagine just last year, around this time, you guys were sitting here trying to analyze the results? Just last year, you were sitting here analyzing the results. That's how fast time moves. And I think we should move beyond the stage of people being asked to step aside, people being asked to resign, people being asked to hand over.
Is the ideology thing a thing to look at?
Well, I think ideology...
He doesn't believe in our ideology.
That has not been an issue raised here.
But generally, is it something we should
generally, look, I've heard the president, and I agree with him, that if I came into power, I was brought into power by people who buy into my ideological and philosophical orientation, and I'm in power, then those people definitely should be allowed to govern with me. So if Nanado is in power, and he's looking for people to appoint, he should appoint Richard before Honorable Alassane. But that is what I said. If he's looking at these two individuals, I sitting here as an independent technocrat, the ideological lenses should not be used as a prism in determining whether I'm qualified or not. You get what I'm saying? It should not be used as a prism in determining whether I'm qualified or not. That is why it becomes worrying and extremely disturbing when people, even within the university fraternity, people who happen to be what? To be working in academia, are being hounded out because of political affiliation and political reasoning. Then it becomes very worrying. And some of us, when we look at it, we say we are not safe. Because if it's happening under this regime, then the regime is not there. And another regime comes. The other regime is going to do the same. And two wrongs does not make a right. Two wrongs does not make a right. That is why I think that there needs to be a time or a point in time when these things are stopped. But we also, especially the so-called civil and public servants,
must stay clear.
Stay clear of
openly declaring.
Right, I had a discussion with a friend of mine who happens to be in government, and the person was telling, look, when you are removing most of these people who are affiliated to NDC, who are political in the public service, people make noise. But when you leave them to, they create problems for us. You understand?
All right.
So it's
okay. Grateful. Let's move on. Let's move on. The EC's chairperson's issue. The Daily Guide is reporting that the attempt by the beleaguered EC chairperson to throw in a last punch by requesting for copies of the petition sent to the office of the president seeking her impeachment from office has hit a snag. This is because the presidency has directed her to channel her request to the Chief Justice at the Supreme Court. Communications Director Ejinahin told the media yesterday President Akufo-Addo sent everything to the Chief Justice in pursuant of Article 1463. And so if she's looking for a copy, I think the best place is the Chief Justice's office. It's a straightforward issue. If she wants a copy, she should go to the Chief Justice. That's the story in the Daily Guide. Honorable Ma, so the EC's letter to the presidency misdirected. She should have gone to the Chief Justice straight away?
I don't think so. See, the presidency feels that they have already forwarded the letter to the Chief Justice. However, we all know the petition was sent to the president, and then the president, at his own discretion, which he has, forwarded a petition to the Chief Justice for review to see whether there is a case.
But the president has no discretion in this and that, he has to send it to the Chief Justice.
The president is not a mail boy for the Chief Justice.
The Constitution.
No, the president. The Constitution. Look at the Constitution. The Constitution says send the petition to the president, and the president reviews it. Look, yesterday this discussion came out, and we remember that when the NDC came to office, some group petitioned the president about wrongdoing and hard goods of the Chief Justice, the just immediate past Chief Justice Theodore Wood, of buying state lines illegally. And bless his memory, President Atta Mills did not. He didn't empanel any team. Neither did he forward it.
He didn't flout the Constitution.
No.
Under Article 1463,
how?
The president is not asked to send a petition straight to the Chief Justice.
No.
The president has
a discretion. The president has a discretion. The president has a discretion. The president is not a mail boy. No, it is not. Check the Article 146. The president is not. It's for the president to review, look at it, read the letter, and see. Use discretionary power. Why would the framers just say that, send your petition to the president? Are you saying that even if there is a petition against the Chief Justice, the president has to forward it to the Chief Justice? Oh, there's a case against you, review it and come back to me to see whether we should empanel team to investigate you? No. The framers of the Constitution planned it and thought it wise. So I think that this is a test case for citizens to go back to the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is there to interpret what the framers were thinking, what was in their mind. Our country has gotten to a point that every case has to be tested. Else, we are going to plunge this country into a state of chaosness. 9 months of presidency has come to power, and every place that the framers of the Constitution thought that even if there's no presidency, these particular institutions will continue to make the state continue to exist. What are we seeing? Today, it doesn't matter. Look, the former EC boss was not sacked. He retired based on what? His contract and also constitutional. That he has to be, I think, 70?
Yeah, I think so.
That he retired. So regardless, the president then, or at that time, had to appoint somebody. So applicants submitted their resumes and application and interest. And the team and the president, in consultation of the State Council of State, appointed Ms. Charlotte Osei. What are we seeing? From then, our opponents who are now in power today said they march. What don't we see? They did everything. They claimed that the President Mahama appointed a linchpin to rig the election for the president, NDC. You have won power today, and you still going after this woman.
Are you saying
is
that,
it because she's a woman?
Are you saying that even if they said those things about her, if she's alleged to have done certain things wrong, she shouldn't
what did she do wrong?
Where the allegations are...
Well, the allegation, if you follow it, even if you follow from the onset, is that the number that signed the petition have now what? Resulted into what? 2. The point that we have to understand, or I have to make, and I want to emphasize and repeat that Ghanaians, reasonable and discernible Ghanaians, have to rise up. Today it is Charlotte Osei. Tomorrow it will be you.
I'm grateful.
We have to rise up.
I'm
and
grateful.
Tell the MPP and the President Nana Addo that enough is enough.
Dr. Jinapo, should she have gone straight to the Supreme Court? Yesterday, was it? Yes, 3 days ago she was. I think the process started. She claims she doesn't have a copy of the petition. She's written to the president. She's been told to go to the Supreme Court for it.
Well, I think there are 2 or 3 angles that this issue can be looked at. With specific reference to the question that you asked, it borders on formality and legality. The procedure in terms of how to deal with these issues if, for instance, you've not been served with a copy of the petition. And I think Madam Charlotte Osei is more better positioned to understand and appreciate the processes than me. She's a lawyer, and a lawyer of good standing, and I think she has a very strong legal team. So they will be in a better position to advise her how to go about it. That said, even though she's not been given a copy of the petition or the case being leveled against her, I think natural justice should give her the opportunity to have it. Even though it hasn't been given to her, moving forward, I'm tempted to believe that she'll be given the copies of it and she'll be allowed enough time to study it. But you see, Bright, this issue is a very political issue, extremely political. And not just political, it's NDC, NPP. And I find it worrying to even comment on it, because if you are not careful, depending on how your arguments go, you'll be tagged as to whether you are NDC or NPP. Because if you realize, I mean, NDC seems to be very strong in support of the woman, to the extent that even a very prominent NDC member, our good friend Amaliba, has threatened that if she's removed, Ghana is going to burn. But you see, the interesting thing about this whole issue is, and my position is very simple, if somebody has done something wrong, or in this particular instance, if there's an allegation being made against somebody, that allegation, if it warrants investigation, it needs to be investigated. There's nothing wrong with it. The petitioners could have been 100. It has trickled down to 2 drivers, actually. 2 drivers at the EC who have petitioned the president. From what I'm told, and I stand to be corrected, the president serves as a conveyor belt when it comes to these issues. The petition is sent to the presidency. The president then conveys it to the Chief Justice, who determines whether there's what? A prima facie case being what? Being made for investigations to
He has
what?
no discretion on this.
That's what I'm told. That's why I said
option.
I stand to be corrected. That the presidency is a conveyor belt.
Honorable Umar doesn't seem to agree.
That's fine, that's fine. But let's move beyond that. I think Madame Charlotte Osei should be given a fair hearing. And look, the interesting thing is that this whole thing is not about only Charlotte Osei. It's about her and her 2 deputies. Her 2 deputies. And if you remember, there was a day Madame Charlotte Osei went to Parliament with her deputies. I understand when they were there, they were not even talking. And if you listen to Madame Charlotte Osei, she herself believes that her 2 deputies are corrupt, that they are engaged in certain financial malfeasance. So if she had been given the opportunity, she herself would have petitioned against those 2 people. And the 2 people also believe that she's corrupt. She's engaged in financial malfeasance. So even within the 3, there's suspicion among them that, look, each of you is corrupt. If this doesn't warrant investigation, what else?
I see.
What else? But, right, let's face it. That's what I said. Let me wrap up. She needs to be given a fair hearing. And I think this whole political bandwagon that is going on between the NDC and the NPP relative to the Electoral Commission should stop. Ghana wants an independent, fair, objective, incorruptible Electoral Commission. And beyond that, the commission, I mean, if the investigation is being conducted and there's any wrongdoing, does that necessarily mean that she's supposed to be fired? No.
We're told by the legal brains that she can still be in office while the investigation.
No, not even that. Even beyond that.
Oh, okay.
Crimes come with what? The magnitude. So where is this whole call that she's step aside? No. You can commit a certain offense and you can be fined. You can commit a certain offense and you can be told to what? To replace the money. You can commit a certain offense and you can be put on suspension. So why is this whole brouhaha about she's going to be sacked? I think she should be given a fair hearing. That said, any kind of hearing that
the Murphy law. We're using the Murphy law.
Okay. What is that?
That anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You have to prepare for it.
Okay, no
and so we are just
let me
prepared.
Let me conclude. So what I'm saying is that in whatever situation it is, in whatever investigation is being conducted, I pray and hope that the investigators and the authorities should try as much as possible to speed it, and it should not affect her job as the Electoral Commissioner and the Electoral Commission in general.
Richard, Madam, going to the court for the Supreme Court for the petition. That's what the presidency says.
See, I think we need to, in the course of our discussion, need to make sure we always educate our viewers and let them understand and appreciate the issues without necessarily inviting emotions and literally muddying the waters. Per our Constitution, Article 146, when you're looking at it, it talks about removal of certain public officials, i.e. justices of Supreme Court, tribunals, regional tribunals, and also you're looking at ECs and other shroud bosses who fall within that category. This is what it reads. This is where the president comes in. If the president receives a petition from the removal of justice of a superior court other than the Chief Justice or for the removal of the chairman of a regional tribunal, he shall refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall determine whether there is a prima facie case. That's the work of the president. So you receive it, you are not asked to photocopy it. You are not supposed to ask to be redistribute copies. You are not supposed to even divulge the content of it to the public. Yours is to just take it as you receive it to the Chief Justice. What did the President do? He did same. I mean, the MPP in all these matters have decided to remain calm and just watch and allow things unfold. Because the point is that we have no interest in this matter. And I get so frustrated when I hear our brothers from the NDC, the sort of stance that they're taking on these matters. To the extent that the kind of pronouncements some of them are making us so unwarranted.
We know your
so
intent.
Disheartening. I mean, see, you are talking about intent. What intent? Let's look at this country. What hasn't happened? Under President Kufuor's era, President Kufuor was taken to charge by Honorable Agbangbagben, a member of parliament, then majority leader. The purpose was to seek to the removal of President Kufuor and to kickstart impeachment process if he had been able to substantiate whatever allegation he was pushing across with substantial substance. But when the moment of reckoning came for him to go before the committee, he chickened out. He couldn't go. During President Mahamad's era, President Mahamad, a president of the Republic, there was petition against him as charge on these fraud matters. He was a sitting president. The NDC, though they had issues about it, but as a country, we knew that these are the processes that have been enshrined in our constitution and what to allow same to unfold. We watch it unfold. Remember the then charge boss during the NDC era, Madame Lamte. There was a petition against from my brother Richie Nyama, and then having something Ladi as the legal rep against the woman. We all allowed the legal processes to unfold. There was investigations. The Chief Justice came out with a report. Do you know who implemented the report of the Chief Justice? The then President of the Republic, President Mahama, then took the report. Report said that remove this woman and fire the woman. Today, what are we hearing? During the NDC time, when the petition was sent to President Mahama, the NDC did not say that President Mahama distribute copies. Don't forward the petition to the Chief Justice for the Chief Justice to see whether indeed it merits any investigation and form a committee, then see what will then come out of the committee. The NDC looked on and allowed the constitutional interpretation to be implemented. Today, similar thing is happening. A petition. And we're told that it wasn't only one has been sent to a president. The president forwarded same to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice looked at among the gamut of issues that were presented within the petitions, the various petitions that were sent to him, and realized that obviously some of them could not stand the test of time. You could not establish premier first case against the lady in that regard, not even an individual. We are looking at 3 human beings. So how come the NDC are not upbeat about fighting for the other deputies, Amidu and the other lady? And they are basically looking at Charlotte. What is that?
It's a trickle-down effect.
What is that?
It's a trickle-down.
I mean, there are 3 people who are facing various charges as a result of petitions by workers.
There's a subject.
You see, my brother, I allowed you your time. So we ought to understand this and be fair with our viewers, and also be fair to ourselves and our conscience. As a political party, as a government, we have no business in the removal of anybody, Madam Solosto, whatever. During we were in the position, and she was the EC chair, with NDC and the state machinery and everything at their behest, still God spoke. When we said the battle was the Lord, but the battle was won by God for the country and for the MPP. We did not do anything, but we expressed our disquiet about some of the and some of the actions and inactions. The mere fact that you are a political person and you are receiving a political appointment, because obviously, remember, she has issues with her deputies. You know the kind of media banter that ensued between herself and her 2 deputies. Was it encouraging? The people, they themselves accusing each other of illegal vote transfers. That could have thrown our democracies into chaos. That could have created major constitutional crisis for the country. The EC chairs, the deputies, top actioners of this organization, fighting among themselves and raining insults and insinuations on each other and pointing fingers at each other, talking about voter transfers and some of them receiving bribe of a car. It's not coming from MPP. It's not coming from CPP. It's not coming from PNC. But within the commissioners themselves. So if an NDC person thinks that despite all these things happening, they are comfortable, they are happy, we ought to allow things to happen like that and sit down aloof and watch the country and the constitution, that gives the president the right to simply forward and watch whatever the Chief Justice and his team will do. The president ought to abandon that particular work, constitutional road that has been given to him by this thing. And I'm so sad for the country. We did some kind of thinking.
All right. I'm grateful. We ran out of time.
Aside from other guys.
I'm a member of the NPC's communication team. Alasan Uma is the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Zabzugu constituency. Dr. Ahmed Singapore, a senior lecturer from the University of Education, Winneba here. Gentlemen, grateful for your Wednesday morning. Yes, the Damongo Secondary School, the meningitis.
I mean, my condolences to my former school. One of our mates passed on, and it's so sad. It's very unfortunate. We just
let's see how authorities are dealing with it. We were told that the health service people are there trying to resolve it.
Yeah, I think meningitis has
yes. All right, we're grateful for your time. Give us power capsules relieves you from sexual weakness. It makes you a real man. So. Also, Give Us Cool capsules release you from severe waist pains, constipation, piles, phlegms, and menstrual pain. So go get it and be a real man. If you send in your comments, we're going to read them when we're back from the break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Business hasn't always been like this. Until I took the Vodafone Ready Business Test. It showed me what I could do to transform my business. I have fast and reliable internet service.
Strategies to catering for the needs of their visually impaired colleagues. So one of the things about Okwapaman School that also stands out is the fact that they have visually impaired teachers who lecture or teach sighted students as well. I'm here with Mr. Abuaje. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
What subject do you teach?
Social studies.
Was it your favorite course when you were here?
Favorite subject was government. Initially, when I went to UW, if you are majoring political science, you can't minor social. And I don't really like history because it's too bulky. Okay. So I decided to major political science and minor social studies, but I learned it wasn't possible then. So I turned it around and major social, minor political science.
What informed your decision to come back here and teach?
The environment is friendly to me and I have good relationship with the teachers. Yes, madam. I know them and the students are also good. And as an intent is my mark that I need. I need good students to raise my mark. The resources, there are some there, but not all. We need broad books and scanned books. Some of us have laptops that we use the scanned books. Some of them don't have, so they need the broad textbooks to read too, yeah.
Although efforts to enmesh persons with disability into the regular school life are commendable, the Okwapaman School still lacks some basic resources to fully complement said efforts. The roads connecting the various classrooms and dorms leave much to be desired. With gaping potholes at every turn, visually impaired students, especially those without the white canes, face problems finding their way around campus. Now, when it comes to visually impaired people, they operate based on sound and sensing or feeling around. On a regular day, even for a sighted person, these borders could pose a problem when it comes to probably tripping. And you can just imagine what might happen or what could happen during prep, because this area are full of classrooms. Imagine how difficult rather it would be for visually impaired students to maneuver or find their way around this part of campus when it's dark. Scenes like this are not strange in Okwapaman School. After touring the school for hours, we were yet to see a covered drain. This situation, we were told, made falling into the drains a daily ritual for all students, even sighted ones.
Well, so we'll complete that story for you tomorrow. But at this point, we'll put some brakes on it. We'll come back with more here on New Day for you. Stay with us. Very well. So we hit your screens with Sadia, which was the first drama series to hit the screens. It replaced many of our foreign telenovelas. And we're not stopping there. We're bringing you another exciting drama series known as Solutions. Of course, we have excerpts of it. And then when we see that, I'll bring you back to studio to meet the cast. Let's see this.
I saw your brochure, and seriously, my business needs a makeover.
Then you have come to the right place.
You have 15 apprentices? Way to go, girl!
With Solutions, you don't have a problem. We have to make your product distinct. A special quality product. Something unforgettable. Customer service is the name, and that is why I do business with them. They go the extra mile to make sure you're comfortable.
Men traditionally have been touted to be the ones to initiate moves, but those moves have always been orchestrated by the women closest to them.
I like the way you work. Very efficient.
The package is as good as what's inside. Don't we make a deadly team? What did I miss?
You missed the making of the deal. But trust me, you are in time for the handshakes.
Well, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what else will. I'm speaking here in studio to Akofa Ejiani and Christine Mary Kali. They're both actresses, and then I have the director also in the person of Kwame Buedi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Well, solutions. I hope it brings solutions to all my questions, because one thing I have in mind is the fact that it comes across as a business drama series. Is that all it entails? I'll come to you, Kwame.
It's a bit more than that. It's about life.
Okay.
Basically, it's a satirical drama, but we talk a lot of business in it. We bring business home. Because, you know, in Ghana, 85% of us are employed by the small and medium-scale enterprises, the small businesses. And so we've got to scale up. And hopefully, all of us will scale up by that. Right. So we'll learn a lot, more than business.
Okay. So does it, but because basically it centers or revolves around business, does it mean Akofa and Christine were, or all the actresses and actors had to be business-oriented?
Not necessarily. I mean, they're accomplished professionals. They can be anything they want to be. Right. So maybe you can ask Akofa what she plays in it. She runs a wachi joint.
Certainly.
And it's a wachi joint with a different.
Fali hotspot, I know about that. But Akofa, tell me, in coming together, you know, with a cast and crew of Solutions, what has been the most, I don't know, take-home message for you? What do you sit back and learn from this drama series that we may also learn as we watch it?
Well, for me as an entrepreneur, I'm picking a lot of things from it. Okay, little things that I'm not doing right, even in my own restaurant. So it's helping me a little in my own business. But it's fun. The role I'm playing, Hajia Kande. Everybody calls me Mama Sweet. So I'm Mama Sweet. I'm a watcher seller with a swag. You know, watcher seller with a difference. And I'm trying to do all the right things to get more customers. And my joint is a place that people come in, you know, they gossip, they come and eat, and you're hearing a lot of things. And it has more than just business, you know. There are little stories weaved in, but basically you pick up the essential things to do if you want to start a business, whether it's a startup or you're already running a business. Little things that we've been overlooking. Right. So but it's a great series.
As a wache seller, you're not doing the thing the wache sellers do. They tell you that wele is soft, but they give you very hard wele. Solutions doesn't have that
at all. You know, because everything of mine is sweet. It's on point.
Certainly. But for you, Christine, what role do you play in Solutions?
I'm playing Amagana, Mrs. Amagana. Yes. So I'm a graduate from KNUST. I'm 26 years old, you know, and I was driven by my husband. He's got this great vision and diligence, so I was drawn to him by that. And we have a passion for for fine things, or probably I have a passion for fine things, details, you know. So Amma likes to dress. She's a fashionista, and she soft-spoken, but don't be deceived by that soft look, because she can be very shrewd, you know, and very confident at the same time. And she manages the PR section, the marketing, and then the customer service section of solutions. Yes, yes.
But I'm sure you play that stereotypical kind of female role that people seem to look at the Ghanaian women, because they think when women have that high position, we're always stern, you can't go, we like perfection. Is that really the role you play?
No, I'm diverse.
Okay.
You know, when it's work is work. When home, wait till you see home.
Home is hot. No, but like solutions, the better half of solutions. And no stereotypical woman here. You know, man can do, woman can do. It's complementary, actually. It's complementary. And they have their different strengths, and they've come together. So at home, we see these different strengths come to play, and at solutions as well.
And she helps me on my joints.
Exactly.
She's the one who's been giving me advice how to improve my business, the right things to do. She goes out of her way for free, teaching me stuff, helping me open an account, do this, do that, you know. So she's really down to earth and friendly and passionate, you know, and compassionate as well.
Solutions is basically dramatized business consultancy, but especially about the wache, Mama Candy, Mama Sweet wache. It's symbolic of all the other like waches, Kinky, Cocoa, and Nkati and everything, and they generate a lot of revenue, and if run well, can be serious businesses. So you will see Mama Candy, for instance, takes orders via WhatsApp.
She delivers.
Mama Kande is on a different level.
At the same time, she takes orders from wherever, and then when you come to by WhatsApp, or she keys in, so it means immediately there's accounting. So at the end of the day, by that simple device, she has all her sales. She can actually tell how much what she sold, and the rice, and everything, and what everything is bringing her. Better packaging.
Yes.
And so she's run like a restaurant, but with very low overheads. And that's what we want to teach.
Nice.
So you can.
I can't wait to see solutions. But for you, what would you also say was the most challenging in acting the roles you act in these solutions?
Nothing much challenging really, except that once in a while I need to remember that I'm Hausa, so I need to sometimes speak a little, chip it in here and there. Sometimes I forget myself. So I probably go out of character once in a while.
The biggest challenge, not only about being Mama Kande of Northern or Hausa extraction, but also that not so well educated, and so must speak.
This Mama Kande is like, she's a self-made woman, sort of. She didn't like go to senior high school. I think she ended up at a GSS, but she speaks English all right.
But it's not so polished or refined.
Yes, but she dresses well by her standards, you know. She dresses well, and she tries. She tries. Yeah, she's streetwise. Sometimes she's a little naive. Sometimes, but on the whole, she's trying. She's trying. With the level of education she has, I think that she's doing really quite well. So the challenge is for me to